The Stretford end is here and we are back and excited for the FA Cup game against Middlesborough tomorrow evening. And to be sure and to be 100% honest, I want to say that I am excited, but also on the other hand, I'm feeling a bit nervous. And the reason for that will be explained later on in this video. First of all, I want to ask, how are you guys doing? How has the week been? What have you been getting up to? Definitely leave those in the comments below. And also don't forget to subscribe and like the video as well. Help the channel out, help the community grow, and ensure that your friends who also support Man United definitely get to watching these videos of the Stretford end. But nevertheless, let's get into it. I first of all just want to make mention on the Mason Greenwood situation. I myself, as session for the Stretford end, I do not want to say anything further on this matter. And the reason for that is because you guys have seen the evidence on social media, you've heard the reports that have come out, and I'd rather just listen and look at the situation and see how it develops. I don't want to make any assumptions or say my opinion or what I think on it. And I kind of just want to let things, flow on their own. Let the judicial system in the UK, do what it needs to do, and we'll see the end result of that. Of course, on a footballing sense, it is sad to lose Mason Greenwood as a player, whether it be for the time being or on a long-term basis. We do not know. But it is sad that we have lost a player like him. Me, myself, personally, I was very, very much in tune with Mason Greenwood's career from the time he made his debut, even in the academy and the under-23s, and that I basically wanted him to grow. I saw him, overtaking Haaland, as a top striker in the world one day. But we'll have to wait and see on that and see what, comes about in the situation and what we hear on a daily basis as that investigations are progressing. To the game. So I basically want to just speak about Ralf Rangnick for a moment. I had a lot of thought about this. Just hear me out. Just hear me out. I basically, done a bit of deeper research into Rangnick and basically what he does, as a coach, but also as a football person. And the reason why he's highly respected, amongst the top coaches in the world. And I feel to myself that he's basically, doing what he can with what he has, but I feel that he can do more and he wants to do more, but let's say about 60% of the players are not footbally inclined. They are not, tactically aware, Sorry about that. My mic just decided to fall, so I just had to, reassemble what is needed so that you guys can hear me clearly. Nevertheless, as I was saying, I have a feeling that, these players are not tactically aware of Ralf Rangnick's instructions because he comes with, a high intensity football, quick, fast paced, counter attack, counter attack, ensuring that we close down quickly, high press so that we can, win the ball high up the field and then, get a much better chance to score than having to get through a team that decides to sit deep and have a low block. But I also feel that some of these players do not want to work as hard, which is very, very strange because how did you get to become a professional footballer if you're choosing not to work hard? Yeah, I guess that is, a thought, a food for thought, for these players. But in hindsight, we have done well. I have to say that against West Ham, we, didn't look the greatest. We didn't look as if we were going to win the game. We had chances, don't get me wrong, but we basically didn't look like we actually were penetrating them. And, you saw what happened when the changes came on. Players like Martial, making a very good impact in tight spaces, with the 1-2s. Very sad that he left to Sevilla on loan. But hopefully he goes there, does what we know he can do, and, gets a place in the World Cup squad, for France's team. And that he comes back, refreshed, a new Martial, so that he can basically hit the ground running, in the preseason. And then hopefully he will stay at the club, when the new coach gets here. And whoever that might be, we do not know. It could be Mauricio Pochettino. It could be Erik ten Hag, Unai Emery. There are many coaches who will be available in the summer, but me personally, I would prefer Erik ten Hag. But we'll speak about that in another video, definitely. A bit more in depth on Erik ten Hag and why I feel he would be the right coach for Manchester United for the long term. I also want to speak about Donny. I'm very, very happy for him. He deserves regular game time. He should be in the Netherlands, squad for the World Cup, and this is the way he's going to do it. But he's also going to prove himself in the Premier League with a very, very good team. Under Frank Lampard, as the new coach, he will definitely give him what he needs in terms of, being that dynamite, midfielder that we need, basically, for the Premier League. He will definitely teach Donny where to be, how to be, strength on the ball, the type of runs to make into the box to score. As we very well know, Frank Lampard was the best goal-scoring midfielder of all time in the Premier League. So who better to learn from about the Premier League and its intensities than, Frank Lampard. So Donny will definitely get a very, very good schooling and coaching, and will definitely come back stronger. And I hope that he comes back to stay. And with Erik ten Hag hopefully coming, he's bound to stay, because Erik ten Hag would then use him in the team 24/7, because he basically fits the way Erik ten Hag would like to play. Nevertheless, I want to get into the team itself for the game tomorrow night against Middlesbrough, and who I think, in my opinion, should be the starting 11. So you'll start in goal. And I want to speak about this for a moment. I know that Dean Henderson, was planning to go out on loan. I mean, he hasn't played, for quite some time, for us. And that being said, it is kind of really strange as to why he hasn't actually moved. I think in the summer, before the season started, he should have left, because I don't think he would ever, right now in his career, reach the heights and the qualities of David de Gea. I feel that he needs to develop more as a goalkeeper, and he should have gone out on loan, if not, definitely be sold. I mean, we are Manchester United. We could always go for him again, in the future, even if we did sell him. But I don't think that, the coaches and the people behind the scenes, the scouts and that, think he would have been wonderful and talented to be our number one. Don't get me wrong. He's a very, very good goalkeeper. But I don't think he is Manchester United's number one for the long term. I look back to the Liverpool game where, he completely opened himself up, and Salah just, did what he did. And I'm not talking about the 5-0 loss. I'm talking about the game where Henderson was in goal, where we also got ripped to shreds, but he wasn't quite good in goal. His positioning sense was completely wrong. And those are the small things that make a good goalkeeper a great goalkeeper. Ask Peter Schmeichel. He did the smallest of things, but it mattered so much in the game. It helped the defense stay, tight, compact, and ensure that we get, a good foundation to go forward and attack, without having to worry about what is behind us. And, for this reason, I feel that David de Gea should start. I don't believe anyone else should be starting above him. And I kind of feel that, it's a warm-up for the game against Burnley, where it's going to be much, much more tougher. They signed Weghorst, who's a very, very tall, powerful striker. So we know how Burnley loves to play. We know they love the physical, high-intensity, long ball, hitting crosses into the box. We know that. So this will be a perfect warm-up for De Gea for that. The back line that I want is basically in between the two centre-backs. I want Varane and Lindelof. And I know Maguire is our captain, and I know that he played in the previous game, and he did quite well, against Michael Antonio and Jared Bowen. And I feel that he's kind of doing what he needs to do now as a defender. We're seeing that player that we saw at Leicester City, but it was only one game. Let's get that right. It was only one game, and his first game back starting. So for tomorrow night, I would prefer Varane and Lindelof. And the reason why I want the two of them to start is because they have a very, very good partnership. They are very, very good at reading the game. They both are cool and calm and collected on the ball. And, Varane is good in the air, so we don't have a problem there. So I do want Varane and Lindelof to be starting in centre-back for us for tomorrow night. Left back, so basically, in terms of Alex Telles, Fred, and Edinson Cavani, I don't think that they will be starting or even be available for tomorrow night because they just recently played the international games and they played quite well upon what I saw. And I don't think they'll be ready for today's game, but they definitely will be ready for the Burnley game. But as I said, I don't think they'll be ready for this game. So therefore, I think Luke Shaw would be starting at left back. And this is an opportunity for him. Don't get me wrong. I personally would want Telles to be playing 24/7. He's better going forward for us and better in the system that Ragnick wants to play. However, Shaw is a more complete player, but this is an opportunity for him. We all know that last season and leading into the Euros, he was touted as the best left back in England, and deservedly so. He played right through the whole Euros and even in the final scored a goal, which everyone thought that he was going to win the Euros for them. But like I said, it's an opportunity for Luke Shaw to show once again why he should be the number one and starting left back under Ragnick. On the right hand side, a bit of a dilemma with Wan-Bissaka and Delo both being available. But I do feel that Wan-Bissaka should start. And the reason why I say this is because defensively he's fantastic. We know that best one-on-one defender in the league, unbeatable, nobody can get past him. However, going forward, he has a lot to learn. And against Middlesbrough, I think he could get a bit more of that experience going forward. Getting crosses into the box, doing the 1-2s, making the runs in behind. I think this would be a nice game for him to warm up and also an opportunity for him. And basically, the low right now under Ragnick is the number one right back. We know this because going forward, he's fantastic and he has shown good defensive qualities of late, especially against West Ham. But just for opportunity and experience sake, I do feel that Wan-Bissaka should be playing at right back. Moving into the midfield for my midfield three. So as I've said, Fred won't be available. So I do think it should be McTominay, and I know McTominay has had his ups and downs and he's not really liked by, most of the United fan base. But right now we don't have any midfielders, and in all honesty, Matic cannot play 90 minutes. We've seen it. He's better when he comes from the bench and he has to completely give, that half an hour or that 20 minutes, and he basically can do that and be that defensive midfielder that we need. But I do feel McTominay will be starting in midfield, and I have a feeling that the midfield will be McTominay, with Bruno obviously being that number 8. And I think next to him, perhaps if we do not have anyone else to play in midfield, because basically we're only midfield, central midfield, not Bruno, who's basically an 8 up and down, helping the attack and connecting the midfield to the attack. I feel we only have McTominay, Matic. Well, you could classify Mata as that, but he's kind of similar to Bruno, and he hasn't really been in the team as of late. And Fred. I think that's the only three, defenders that we have. I don't think there's any more. Sorry, not defenders, midfielders that we have. And it is very, very difficult for us to play, with these midfielders. But we have no choice. And I think that would be the midfield three, And I basically, from what I'm being said, Matic will probably start. I kind of just, saw now that I think the 2 8s are going to be Bruno and McTominay, and Matic will be sitting. It all depends, of course, on Ragnick and how he decides to play. If he plays 3 in the middle, he'll definitely play those 3. However, if he plays a 4-2-2-2, basically then he won't play with 3 in the middle. He'll play with Bruno and Sancho, as the 2, inverted midfielders, or he'd play with Rashford and Bruno as the 2 inverted midfielders, and then having, of course, Ronaldo up front with, a Bruno or a Rashford. But I don't think he's going to do that. I feel he will play a 4-3-3. As I've said, the midfield will probably be Matic, McTominay, and Bruno. On the left-hand side, here's where it gets iffy. So, Anthony Elanga has done well on the left-hand side for us for the past couple of games. And yes, even though Rashford scored the winner against West Ham, he didn't have a too good game when he came on. But this is why I say Anthony Elanga should start. It's perfect experience for him. It's perfect, playing opportunity for him as well, And it also is an FA Cup game. We should be rotating, definitely. So Anthony Elanga should start on the left. And on the right-hand side, I want Jadon Sancho to start. With the whole Greenwood debacle, I feel that this is a perfect opportunity now for Sancho to get a good run in the team. With Amad Diallo doing his business at Rangers on loan, I definitely feel now it's a clean and opening opportunity for, Jadon Sancho to do what he needs to do and nail down that place on the right hand side. Because I don't feel that he should be on the left hand side. I don't think he should be a player for us on the left hand side, as I think Rashford, does a job there. Elanga does a job there. Martial, when he does play, does a job there for us. So I think it's too fully stocked on the left hand side, and we should, prioritize putting him on the right hand side where he shined for Dortmund and what he actually is, a right winger. Sorry. So I feel he should be starting on the right, and of course Ronaldo up front. There's no arguments there. We don't have anyone else right now to play up front, so Ronaldo would be the only person to play up front. So just to give it a nice run through again, De Gea in goal, Varane and Lindelof with Shaw and Wan-Bissaka at the back. In midfield, I would like Matic, Bruno and McTominay as the two eights. On the left hand side, Anthony Elanga. On the right, Jadon Sancho, and up front, I would like Ronaldo. That is basically the team that I would want to start for tomorrow night's game. And yes, it is quite a strong team for a game like against Middlesbrough, but it is a warm-up game for the game against Burnley, which is more important in the Premier League, because we need to ensure that we keep hold on to our fourth place and try and push for third, if not second place. It is possible. We still have to play Chelsea again. We have to play Liverpool again. And, they will get their knocks along the way, because obviously Liverpool is trying to win the league. It hurts me to say that. Let me just breathe for a moment. It hurts me to say that. But yeah, basically they should, and hopefully we'll get a couple of knocks along the way. Can you believe how far our standards have dropped? The fact that I'm speaking about hopefully they will lose and drop points. Whatever happened to us just doing what we do and smashing teams? But yeah, we are in a bit of a transition, interim period. Ragnick just doing what, he can, up until the end of the season, where we're not sure if he will get the job as a permanent manager or if someone else will come in. But nevertheless, I thank you guys for joining me once again on, the Stretford end. And I hope that you guys will enjoy the game. We'll definitely, have more videos coming up soon. So watch out for that. Click the link and the notification bell to ensure that you get notifications every time the Stretford end posts a video. Also subscribe to the channel. Definitely like it so that we can grow the community. And also share it to all your Man United friends. Don't be afraid to do that. Let them also try and get into the community and share their opinion on Manchester United, because as we all know, we all want Manchester United to win. We all want us to, challenge for trophies and win trophies, because that is who we are. We are Manchester United. We have been and is the biggest club in the world, and we will definitely get back to that. I believe so, but it's a slow process. But then again, thank you guys for joining us. Have a good evening further. That's it from me, your host, Sachin Johnson, and the Stretford End. Till we see each other again.